So today I'm going to talk about a tier list of mine, which is based on my favorite characters from Blue Lock. It's a tier list about which characters I personally like and not about what they should be rated from an objective or neutral perspective, for example based on their skill or importance. The list is categorized from S to E, with S being the best rank and D and E being the worst ranks. So E means that I literally don't care about them, and it includes all of the U20 defenders and goalie Fukaku. And we also have Inaba, the goalkeeper from Matsukaze, Kokuo High School from Chapter 1, Anri Teyeri, although she's like the only female character in the manga and maybe Igo's girlfriend in the future, who knows. But unfortunately she isn't really important or does hardly have any screen time, so I have to put her in E as well, and Imamura. I know he has been in Team Z, but to be honest I can't really remember which position he played or what his special weapon and skills were, so I have to put him in there as well. The next category is D, which includes all the characters that I dislike, so first I have to put the Wanima brothers in there. They are just too creepy for me, and I also find their ability with the special eye contact pretty lame, so yeah. From a neutral perspective they are definitely not D material, but personally I just don't like them. Joining them in D is Igarashi, who is just Blue Lock's Ishizaki in a more annoying and negative way. Next up is Team Z's trader, Kuon, who I actually liked in the beginning because he was kinda the manager for Team Z, coming up with all those strategies, but of course everything changed after the Wanima game. Then we got Igo, and I've actually never liked him. Like from the first chapter on, I just disliked him really. I don't like his character design, his way of talking to people in a very disrespectful way, and also his thoughts about football. But, of course, he's a very important character, so in a normal tier list, I would definitely place him much higher. So, then we got C, which includes characters that are okay. Joining C is Aryu, who's kinda hilarious sometimes. They're just much cooler characters in my opinion, but he's definitely alright. Then we got Nanase or Nanase, who isn't really flashy or noticeable, but I liked his chemistry with Isagi and Rory before the last match. He's a nice guy, so you just can't dislike him. Then we got 4 of the World 5 members, and unfortunately we haven't seen much so far from them, so I have to put them in C, but I'm already looking forward seeing them in the World Cup arc and what they will be able to do. Then we got Kira, who is of course one of Blue Lock's originals and actually had a really good beginning before joining the Blue Lock project, and I'm pretty sure that we will see him returning in the future, and maybe he will join Team Japan one day, so for now I personally put him in C. Then we got Oikawa, who actually scored a goal. I really liked his playstyle of being the lazy striker, waiting for a nice pass by Ike Nico, so he can just burst through the opponent's defense with a counter-attack and score a goal. Unfortunately we didn't get to see much of him after the match versus Team C, so he will join rank C as well. Then we got Yukimiya, who has a pretty flashy playstyle, and the reason why I personally put him in C and not in B is because of his character design, which I somehow just don't like. I know his glasses fit his playstyle and might be a reference to Edgar Davids by Kaneshiro, but I don't just like it that much. Then we got Tsurugi, who seems to be a pretty arrogant dude at first, but I actually like his ability, which is the opposite of Chigiri's ability to have a strong acceleration instead of top speed, so he will join rank C as well. Next up is rank B, which includes characters that I like. So first up is our main boy, Isagi. Personally, I've never liked his character design that much, as he looks pretty normal and kinda boring, but I get that it fits the character perfectly of being the no-name who's trying to become a pro football player who is climbing to the top. He also got some pretty cool abilities, for example being able to read the game and predict the outcome of upcoming attacks, or his direct shot, and many more weapons. So Isagi will join B in my personal tier list for now. Then we got Gagamaru. Didn't really care much about him in the beginning, but started to like him especially when he became a goalie in the current arc. He's always good for some crazy moves in the goal, and yeah, that's why I enjoy watching him. Then we got Karazu. I really like his character design and acknowledge his effort in the game versus Japan's U20, as he's constantly matched up versus Sai, which is just a horrible job to do, to be honest. But he's doing well so far in the match and is always an option you can pass to when needed in midfield, so yeah, hopefully we will get to see more of him in the future. Rocky is the only one out of World 5 who I didn't put into C and in B instead, as he impressed me by far the most from all the World 5 members, plus his Godspeed ability is pretty sick. I thought about putting Chigiri into A tier because I actually really like him, but he disappointed me a bit in the U20 match, so I have to put him into B for now. Then Rin. Didn't like him at all at first, but of course it changed after I got to see his background story with his brother Sai, And he's the better Isagi for now, so yeah, he deserves to be in B. I really like Nagi in a small arc together with Isagi and Baru. His ball control is just impressive and his traps are such a good and cheeky weapon, so for now he also joins B. Then Nishinoya. Didn't care much about him in the beginning, but seeing his background and how he has to provide for his family after losing his parents, that was just really heartbreaking to see him losing the final game versus Isagi and Nagi, which meant that he had to leave the Blue Lock project. I don't think that we will see him anytime soon in the future, but nevertheless, he was a really cool character. Then we got Hayori. Like Nanase, I instantly liked him because of his great chemistry with Isagi, plus he's a super underrated player, very calm, reliable and effective, and yeah, B also for him. Then Raichi, a fighter with a strong will, who carried Team Z a lot in the final game with his man-marking ability. B also for him. Shido is a bit too crazy for me, which is the reason why I've also put him into B and not in A or S. But I still like him though because of his clinical finishing and he's always able to score an insane goal, like when he did with the bicycle kick. Yamon is up there as well because for me he was something like the dad of Team Z. He took care of the team after Kron did his betrayal and he also did an important save when he stopped Ryo's free kick. Then rank A, which includes characters that I really like. And starting off the list does Sae, who I absolutely didn't like at first, but you have to admire and respect his skill and his background story with Rin, and that's what just made him really interesting for me. I hope we are also going to see a background story of him this time in Spain, and which moment made him change his dream of becoming the best striker in the world. Then we got Sendu, who I personally really like because of his chemistry with Aiko, who acknowledges him as their ace and because of his never giving up attitude. He does the dirty, unshiny work for Zai and Shido, and I really respect that. The last character in A is the monster Bachira, super skilled player who is able to decide a game or score a goal just by himself, and every time Bachira got his moment, it always ends up in something insane that is actually happening. So yeah, definitely A for me. Now to rank S, which includes my favorite characters. First we got Oliver Iku. I think I don't have to say much about him. Super cool character design, very calm, rational and badass attitude, and super supportive towards his teammates, especially Sendu. Just a real team captain that you want to have in your team. Next up is the Kakashi of Blue Lock, Ryo Mikage. Very underrated, and I really like his ability to copy other weapons. He did great so far in the current arc and had many good moments, so yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. Then we got King Baru. Sick character design, a badass as well, and always good for some chaos in the team. Of course there are some moments where he really annoys me as he's super stubborn, but that's just how he is, and his skill is definitely undeniable. Then we got our superhero Kunigami, and man, I loved Kunigami so much in Team Z, especially when he scored the first goal for the team with his super shot, and in general Kunigami is just a good guy, you can't just hate him. I always have this moment in my head when he bought Isagi food and motivated him to achieve his dream, and that's just who Kunigami is, a superhero for others, and I hope we will see him joining the team after the wildcard arc. Last but not least is Ike Nico, who made it into my list of favorite characters. I really like his mysterious looking character design and also his playstyle of being a very smart, effective and strategic player. I also liked his partnership with Oikawa, and it was awesome to see how he was able to stop Shido in the current game. So yeah, this is my personal Blue Lock tier list based on who I liked from a personal perspective, not from a neutral perspective. Tell me your favorite characters in the comments below, and as always, have a nice day.